welcome back to my channel and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. It's free, and hit the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I would just like to mention that if the video is a little bit too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, right next to it, there's the CC letters for closed caption. You can turn that on, and you can read all the stitch that I'm calling down here. By pausing the video, take notes, will make it easier for you. Now, normally when I upload the videos, it takes about an hour for YouTube to search all my words that I'm saying, so it can appear on the closed captions. So don't panic if you don't see right away the closed captions, because the video has just been launched. It will show up in about a half an hour to an hour after the upload. I also would like to mention that if you have extra yarn, extra thread, and you'd like to help the women in need, we highly appreciate it and being very, very grateful for it. Thank you for the ones I already have helped and are still helping. If you'd like to donate, right below the video, there's a little bag of $. You can donate whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. Anything helps. It adds up at the end. You can also go into the description box. My PayPal account is there. You can donate through there if you'd like also. Please always give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. It does help the video to circulate and also to be recognized worldwide. I gratefully appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one way to help me out and to help to continue to create these beautiful pieces. Also share on your Facebook public. It costs nothing. Everything is free. There's no charge of anything. So please help out to grow the channel. I do have a Facebook group, private group. If you have a profile, you're more than welcome to request to be a member. It's free, of course, and we'll approve you. You must have a profile. Be careful with the links that you go into the groups that says cut and bit. These are fraud scammers that go through your phones, your computers, and take every information of yours. Do not open up those links. There's a lot of hackers in the groups now. That's why I made sure that my group is private. I want to thank every single one of you from the start being with me, and thank you so much for the newcomers. It costs nothing to subscribe, so please do so. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will be listed always in the description box for every pattern that I create, the sizes, the thread that I use, which is Portugal thread. They're 100% cotton thread, 4-ply, which is similar to Aunt Lydia. Number 3, which number 3 Aunt Lydia is just a little bit thicker than my thread, not by much, but a little bit. I usually use a hook 3 or 3.5, a small one for tucking in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. So thank you, everybody. Any other questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment. You can always get a hold of me if your intentions are to give some thread or yarn away. There's my email below the description box. There's my Facebook page that you can follow also, my Facebook group, my Instagram, my TikTok. So there's so many ways you can message me. Thank you so much, everybody. I hug every single one of you, and much blessings to all of you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, everyone, so today we're going to create this glass coaster to match my Placemat Doily. If you've missed the Placemat Doily, I will link the link below for you to create it if you want to create the set. Okay, so very simple, very small video. I'll be using the royal blue, the gold, and the off-white. Or actually, it's a tan color. It's not really off-white. I always say off-white, but it's tan. Please give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps to grow the channel. These things are all free. You don't pay for anything. And us creators work very hard to put these gorgeous pieces out there for you guys for nothing. Okay, for no amount of price. So be generous, be kind, and give a thumbs up on the video. Okay, so we're going to get started, everyone. Thank you so much for the super thanks tip, super chat, and for the people that have helped the women in need of thread. Thank you so much. Okay. I'll be using a 2.75. These are 4-ply, 100% cotton thread. Is similar to Aunt Lydia. Aunt Lydia is a little bit thicker, which I prefer for these type of sets. It's just perfect sizing. Pair of scissors and a small hook to tuck in loose ends. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is the slip stitch knot. If you're still having a hard time, then you can do a 6-chain. This is no different than creating the doily. It's the same start. So I did 1 chain and I'm coming in with a single just to get my first double crochet together. Okay, and 2 chain. Inside of here, we are going to do 15 all together with a single and 2 chain, 15 double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Now, this only has, with the double crochets, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of it. So it's very, very fast creating. So I've done my 15 double crochets. I'm going to pull on my string. And I'm going to close it in with a slip stitch on the second double crochet. Just so we don't have a line going up with chains, so it's not so noticeable. I'm going to come from behind on the next stitch and I'm going to pull my string to the back. I'm going to come in the same space and I'm going to do a double crochet. We're going to do an increase 2 double crochets per space, so that means you'll be having 30 double crochets. So again, next space, 2 double crochets. So obviously on the first one I did the single and 2 chain and 1 double crochet on the same space. Next space, 2 together and 2 together. Okay, so this is row 2. So I've completed my 30 double crochets, 2 together in the same space. I'm going to close it in on the second double crochet, not the first one with the chain. We want it to be closed firmly, and there's no showing of chains going up. So I'm coming into the next one again and pulling my string to the back, and I'm going to do a single crochet on the same space. Trying to get my thread out of here. Now this row 3 will be always starting with an increase of 2 double crochet together on the same space. Next space, 1 double crochet alone. Next space, 2 double crochet together. Next space, 1 double crochet alone, and it's going to be repeatedly the same way all the way around. Now when we're doing the placemat, it's no different. It's exactly the same thing, and from here on we keep doing the increase. So if you're doing placemat, because I had a comment that somebody didn't understand where to do the increases, so it's always so we have 1 alone. Next row, 2 double crochets alone. Next row, 3 double crochets alone, but always adding 2 together after that. Next row, 4 double crochets alone, 2 together. Next row, 5 double crochets alone, 2 together, until row 12. I have row 12 on that. The placemat's the same size as a charger for the plates. You can make smaller, and it would be perfect size. If you're using Aunt Lydia number 3, go only up to size to row 8. Okay, so on to the end. I'll meet you at the end. So I've reached the end. I'm coming in my second double crochet with a slip stitch. So I'm going to pull a little bit of my string. I'm going to come from behind, bring my string to the back, coming into the same space and doing a single, 2 chain, always repeatedly the same way if you're creating the placemat. Double crochet on the same space. So we have 2 together now because row 3 we have 1 alone. Now row 4 we're having 2 alone. So it's always the same thing all the way to the desired length of your placemats. And then after your 2 alone, we have 2 together. If you have a hard time figuring out how to slow down the video, because I know sometimes I can be a little bit too fast, I seem to forget that I'm recording. I'm, just not thinking. I have in the link below showing you how to slow down the video. And of course, by slowing down the video and putting your closed caption on, makes it easier for you guys to follow and take notes. You could also pause the video and take notes, because I had the comment that I'm too fast, you can't even read. Try pausing and reading and take notes. Slow down the video. Okay, so 2 double crochets alone, 2 together in the same space. That's the increase. Next space, 1 double crochet, next space, 1 double crochet, next space, 2 alone, 2 together. Almost getting confused here. Okay, so always starting at the beginning of your rows with single 2 chain and 1 in the same space. 2 double crochet alone, 1 per space, 2 together. That's the increase. Next row would be 3 alone, 2 together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last row of the increases for these postures. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I've done my row 4. I'm going to close in as we've been closing on the 2nd double crochet. Pull my string. I'm going to come into the back. And then I'm going to come back in the same space and do a single. Now this row is very simple. It's just singles all the way around. 1 per space. There is no increase. So just single crochet all the way around. We are not doing any increase at all. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. So I'm on my last one. I'm going to come in my first single and close it in with a slip stitch. I'm going to come right back in the same space and do a single. 1, 2, 3 chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2 on my third single. I'm closing it in. 1, 2, 3 chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2 on my third single. I'm closing it in. 1, 2, 3 chain. Skip 1, 2, 3. This is exactly the same thing as placemats. The only difference we're doing here, we're just doing it very small because it's for glasses, but everything else is the same procedure. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, 2 on my third one. And of course, the chains are bigger on the placemat. I'll meet you at the end. We got to make sure we have even numbers of loops at the end of this row. So I've reached the end. I have 19 loops and I'm just about to create my 20th. We have to have even numbers. So I did my single and I'm going to do 1 chain. If I skip 1, 2, I'm directly on my single. Now we're going to do a half double crochet here. Okay, so you take out ones and then again. So we can end up in the middle of this chain. I'm coming back and doing a single. Now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 chain this time, coming in the middle of the next loop with a single. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. And it's going to be repeatedly the same way. You got to make sure that you have even numbers of these loops or you're not going to end up to do the edging properly. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. Now after this I'm cutting my thread, and I'm going to come in with my tan color. Okay, so this one is only 2 rows only of these loops. On the placemat it's 4 rows of these loops, and you would have to do exactly the same thing as we did here. I'll meet you at the end. So I've reached the end. I'm going to come in the first single we did here, close it in with slip stitch. Got my thread, tuck in the loose ends. Just going to come through the loops here because we're using these loops to create the motif at the end. So I'm pretty much hiding it through here because we're going to cover it. I always like to leave a little bit of string to cover it up through the loops so nothing falls apart. And to be extra secure and safe, if you'd like to use hot gun glue, the transparent glue is perfect. I use it a lot on the finishing of my patterns. Now the bottom one for the people that does the magic circle. I'm just going to come through some of the loops in here and pull my thread through it, because we know this is not going to go anywhere, and it's a perfect finish. Okay, now before we go into the tan color, to make it easier on us, I'm going to come in with my gold. Now the other one I have the bling blue, but because this is in blue, obviously, the bling blue would not be showing, so I'm coming in with the gold. I'm going to leave a little bit of string so I can tie up at the end. So slip stitch knot, and then I'm going to pull a little bit here. I'm going to come exactly between the double crochet and the single row that we did. Pull my string to the front. This row is only slip stitch per space, so you're coming into the next and you just slip stitch. You don't want to tighten it up. Give it a little bit of loose stitch so your pattern won't pull. We don't want it too baggy, but we don't want it too tightened. So you got to make sure that you can control your tension no matter what pattern you do. In this case, I mean, it's extremely important. The whole value of the pattern is your tension on the hook. Also, the hook is extremely important to create that beautiful stitch. So you got to see whatever one works for you. Okay, and then at the end, we're just going to tie it up in the back, both this one and the next one. And you can dip a little bit of hot gun transparent glue to be safe. And then I'm going to cut my thread and come in and finish off the edging. So I'm on my last one. I'm pulling my string a bit, and I want to bring the string to the back also. Okay, so we can have it tied up back here. So I'm going to cut a little bit longer, and I'm going to make a knot. So I'm going to pass my thread in through here, of course, and both of them on there. And you would just make a couple of knots here, tighten it well. This thread is thinner than my regular thread, and it's like almost like a nylon thread. So this slips out pretty fast and easy. That's why it's important in certain projects to use the hot gun glue, because it will slip out. Just going to pull it through to be secure in some of the loops back here. And then I'm going to dip a little bit of glue in it. Not much, just a little bit, to make sure that it doesn't come apart. You could also give it a knot too as you're going through these little loops back here. I've tightened it so much as I pulled when I tie them together that I'm having a hard time getting my thread through, but could always manage, right? Okay, so pull your thread through, and then you can make a knot here also by pulling your thread inside of that little loop. I'm going to put a little bit of hot gun glue, so I'm not worried about cutting it short. So this pretty much does it for this. And I'm going to come in with my tan color. So slip stitch knot, coming anywhere on these loops here, and I'm going to do a single past my thread because I'm going to hide it, 2 chain. So this would equal a double crochet. I'm just going to pull this to the edge here. Now we're going to do 9 double crochets. Now this one I did 7, but I found it to be too tight, so I'm going to do 9 exactly like the placemat. Sometimes you're creating things and then you realize, oh, I should have done a few more double crochets, but no worries. As we're creating, you learn so many things, and then when you're doing the second one, you already know what to do. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Coming into the next loop, single, and we're going to repeat this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Coming into the next loop, single, and then create your 9 double crochets again. So this is much better. I can see already than from this one, because this one is already blocked, and I had to really iron and stretch it. It's really thundering here today, my goodness. I don't know if you can hear it. So we're going to continue and then cut our thread at the end, and then we're going to come in with the gold to finish up doing the slip stitch like we did here on here, and then at the edge on this, on the back loops only. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. So I'm on my last one. I'm going to come in to the first double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch. I'm just going to pull this thread back here because we still need to work with the gold. So I'm just going through some of the loops back here. Now you could have just left it like that if you want to. This is optional. Now we're just going to do the same thing as we did. So we leave a little bit of string on the gold so we can tie it at the end. Pull a little bit through. And we're going to come in anywhere, for that matter, here on the double crochet. So I'm going to do slip stitch to each one of them. Don't pull too much on your tension. So one per space, coming to the single, the same thing. We're going to repeat this all the way around. I'm not cutting my thread because then I'm coming in the last row with the picot on the center. Okay, you guys, so I'm on to my last row. I've just closed in where I started. Now we're going to use only back loops. So go directly to your back loop, slip stitch. So I'm on my first back loop on the first double crochet. I'm on to my, don't want to pull on the gold back here. I'm on to my second back loop on the double crochet, my third, my fourth, and my fifth one. I'm going to come and grab both loops, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, come back in, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain, come back in, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, come back on the same space, slip stitch. And this is done exactly the same way as the placemat. Back loops only again, slip stitch, and again, until we get to the fifth double crochet on the next motif to create those loops, those picots again. Slip stitch, one, two, three, four. On my fifth one, I'm grabbing both loops, not one only, and again, 1, 2, 3, chain, come back in, close it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come back in, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, chain, come back in, and back loops only until the next motif on the fifth double crochet we create those picots again. So very simple, and then you're done. Cut your thread, tuck in your loose ends, put a little bit of hot gun glue or material glue, whatever glue you use. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the fifth one, you grab both loops, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, chain, back in the same space, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, back in, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, chain, back in, slip stitch, automatically into the back loop only, slip stitch. So this pretty much does it for this video. I hope you enjoy this set. I think it's gorgeous. It would look stunning on your Christmas dinners, you know, nice entrance decoration. And it pretty much does it for this tutorial. So of course I use to block my patterns laundry softener, pure laundry softener. It doesn't matter which one you use. You just spray it, stretch it nice and neat, and let it dry. In my case, because I'm always doing tutorials, I light iron after I spray it, after I stretch. I light iron and it stays nice and stiff like that. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, I'll leave the link to the placemat below, and also there's a link to slow down the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Give a thumbs up. I also have the giveaway the 17th of this month. There's also the link below on the video in the description box for the giveaway gift for you guys. So you might want to check on that and follow directions. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.